Hello, third graders. Today you are going to be playing instruments to go along with a story. Now, with the story, there are going to be 7 characters. There is a narrator, a mandarin, a second mandarin, a mayor, a friend, a scholar, and a kid. So I did that back kind of not in order. So we have narrator, friend, second mandarin, mayor, scholar, I don't know. Hopefully Mrs. Huff will be able to figure it out. But yes, you'll need 7 people who will be reading the story. And as they read the story, you're going to notice that there are some words that are in big letters. And those that's because right directly after you say that word, then the person who is in charge of the instrument for that word will play their instrument. The only exception is the word cat. Whenever you hear the word cat, the person who is in charge is going to meow. And of course, right now you're going to want to meow. Go ahead. Okay, stop. There. Then there are some instruments for different parts of the story. The xylophone is going to be played before and after the story. So it's kind of the introduction of the story, and then it's the finale of the story. And you can play whatever you want, but I don't want you to play B or E, bacon and eggs. Now what you do is you're going to remove, on the xylophone, you're going to use the big bass xylophones for this. You're going to remove the bars for the xylophone. And the bar, it's that wooden bar, and there's a peg. I'm sorry, I'm using my recorder right here to demonstrate what I'm talking about. You're going to have the bar and the peg is going right through, and when you remove it, I want you to gently lift up and put the bar inside. Because if you go like this, you'll notice that the peg bends. And when that happens, sometimes the peg can break off, or I have to, and then I have to put a new peg in, or I have to fix it, or it just gets wonky. It's just a bad idea. So you're going to remove it straight up so that the peg doesn't bend at all. Okay, so remember, you're removing B and E. And then you can play whatever you want, but don't play it for like 7 years. Mrs. Huff will cut you off. Yes, that's it. No more playing. But it will kind of give, notice if without playing B and E, bacon and eggs, without playing the B and E, it kind of gives it an Asian sound to it. And this story takes place in somewhere in Asia, maybe China. I'm not quite sure. I'm guessing China because of the Mandarin. So you're going to want that Asian feel to it. That's why you're not playing a B or an E. Now, because Asian music tends to only have a scale with 5 notes in it, a pentatonic scale. Get it? Pentatonic, penta, 5. All right. Then for the word cat, as I said, you'll have a meow. And then for the word sky, that's going to be a glockenspiel, otherwise known as bells. They look a lot like a xylophone, but they're smaller, and they have metal bars. And you don't have to remove anything for this. All you're going to do is you're going to take that mallet and you're going to go slide up the scale, slide down the scale. And it's going to be, and that's called a glissando. Now, something I forgot to mention with regards to the xylophone. When you play the xylophone with your mallet, I want you to make sure that you let that the xylophone bar vibrate. And remember, those of you who had me at the beginning of the year, you will remember when we talked about vibration, create sound. Vibration is that kind of that little wobble. If it doesn't wobble, if it doesn't vibrate, there's no sound. So when you play, you want to make sure that your xylophone mallet bounces off, because if you let it rest, the xylophone bar can't vibrate and there will be no sound. So you go boom, like that. All right, back to my other thing. So after sky, you have cloud. Now with cloud, we're going to have just a C and a G tone chime. Silver tone chimes. One person will have C. Actually, one person will have C and G, and the other person will have C and G. And they'll both be playing tone chimes. Now remember, you never ever touch the mallet part of the tone chime, and you're just going to flick the tone chime so that the mallet part bounces off, and the tone chime can vibrate. And you'll just go ding dong, like that, for cloud. Then, then for the word wind, this is going to be another mallet instrument. It is the metallophone. Now the metallophone looks like a xylophone, almost the same exact size. However, instead of having wooden bars, they will have metal bars. And once again, I want you to remove the B and the E, and you can play whatever you want on the word wind. Again, we don't need this to be the longest song in the world or the longest story in the world. So it'll be bum, 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 or whatever you want to play. You can play both mallets at the same time. Blum, blum. Once again, Mrs. Huff will cut you off if you decide that you are going to go overboard and you're going to make this the metallophone show, which is not what we want. We want this to be a lovely, lovely story, and we don't want to have to wait for the metallophones to stop playing. That brings me to the next word. Every time you hear the word wall, it's going to be a hand drum. And the hand drum, you want to hold it on the side, and you're going to play it with the tips of your fingers on the side of the hand drum, boom, or boom, boom, boom. Now, make sure you, once again, vibrate, or let the head of the drum vibrate, and you don't want to go like that. You want to go, because it'll vibrate and make a much nicer sound. My hand's not like that, but the hand drum will be. That brings me to mouse. Now the mouse, I think, would be the triangle. And remember, with the triangle, a triangle looks like a triangle, but you're going to need a mallet, and you're going to hold it by the little hanger. Don't pick a triangle that doesn't have one of those hangers. The hangers are either going to be yellow or green. And let it dangle. And you're going to hold it by the striker, and you're just going to go ting, like that. There should be a striker in there. We only need 2 people for each of these instruments. So with the triangle, again, make sure you have the striker. So every time you hear the word mouse, ting, like that. And that is when we get to the one instrument we have, because we don't have 2 vibroslaps, so we only have 1. And a vibroslap has a ball at one end and a thing that looks like a triangle at the other, and then those 2 pieces are connected by metal, and then there's like a little handle. You hold it at the side, and then you hit the top, the ball, and you go boom, and it's called a vibroslap because when you slap it, it vibrates. And when we hear the who catches the mouse and eats him up, ching, like that, or we could use the slapstick if you would prefer. And the slapstick is a long piece of wood with another piece of wood on top, and then you just fling it like that, and it slaps. So it would be the cat who catches the mouse and eats him up, and that's when you hear the slapstick. All right. I hope you're having a wonderful time. I hope this will be enjoyable for both you and Mrs. Huff. Make sure that you are following her directions and doing everything she says and asks you to do, and make me proud so that when I come back, and I'm hoping it'll be soon, when I come back, I don't have to look at you like this, because when I look at you like this, you might notice there becomes some wrinkles right here, and I'm much too young to have wrinkles. We want a nice, smooth forehead. And I'm sure Mrs. Huff would like to have a nice, smooth forehead as well. And I know that you are going to be super califragilisticexpialidocious. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.